do this. Okay, welcome back to another week of the Think Tank. And this week we're going to learn about turtles and their friends. So let's take a look at our flashcards and learn some new vocabulary. I'm going to probably ask you to repeat some of these vocabulary words with me. So the first word, carapace. Can you say that one?
Carapace.
Paste.
Carapace. All right, so that is the shell covering the back of a turtle, tortoise, crab, etc. So if you can take a look at the little picture there, and that's that top shell covering. The next word, plastron. Can you say that one?
Plastron.
Plastron. And that is the lower part of a turtle shell that covers the abdomen. So as you can see, that's the bottom shell called the plastron. Next word, endangered. And of course, as we know, that's a species whose numbers are so small that the species is at risk for extinction. This is something we don't want to see. Transparent. And if something is transparent, it allows light to pass through. As you can see in these glasses, you can see straight through it. So these glass vases are transparent. And then the next word is translucent, which is a little bit different. If something is translucent, then it permits some light to pass through, but it's not completely transparent. You can still see through it, but it's a little bit foggy, and so that is translucent. Dorsal fin. The dorsal fin is the fin that's on the back side of a fish. You can see where the arrow is pointing. And then the anal fin would be on the underside of a fish. Okay, now, as we move through the slides, listen for those vocabulary words that we just learned. And if you hear one of them, just put your thumb up. So listen carefully as we move through the information. So first, we want to talk about turtles, of course, and turtles are reptiles. Turtles have a hard shell that protects them like a shield, and this upper shell is called the carapace. Turtles also have a lower shell called the plastron. Many turtle species, not all of them, can hide their heads inside their shells when attacked by predators. Turtles have existed for around 215 million years. And like other reptiles, you may already know this, turtles are cold-blooded. The largest turtle is the leatherback sea turtle, and it can weigh over 2,000 pounds. And turtles lay eggs. So let's take a look at this fun turtle video and learn some facts about turtles. All right, that's a good question. Does someone want to share what their favorite thing about turtles is?
They can live for a really long time.
Okay, that's a yes.
I remember in Finding Nemo, the turtle said it lived for something like 100 years.
100 years. They can live a long time. All right, so go ahead. In some species of turtles, the temperature determines if the egg will develop into a male or a female. And so the lower the temperatures they lead to a male, while the higher temperatures lead to female turtles. Some turtles lay eggs in the sand and leave them to hatch on their own. The young turtles make their way to the top of the sand and scramble to the water while trying to avoid predators. Sea turtles have special glands which help them remove salt from the water they drink. And as we mentioned before, many turtle species are endangered. So fun. All right, let's look at some information about jellyfish. Jellyfish live in the sea and are found in all oceans. Some jellyfish even live in fresh water. They look like little umbrellas. Some jellyfish can be large and very brightly colored. They can often be transparent, which we know is see-through, or translucent, which means that they're almost see-through, but not quite. Some can be very hard to see, nearly invisible to the human eye. Now, although the word is mentioned in their name, jellyfish are not fish. So let's take a look at a National Geographic video about jellyfish. Yes. All right, so as we heard in the video, a group of jellyfish is called a bloom, swarm, or smack. And large blooms can feature over 100,000 jellyfish. And as it mentioned also, sometimes there are more jellyfish actually than water, which is crazy. Jellyfish don't have brains and they use their tentacles to sting. How many of you have ever been stung by a jellyfish? I know I have, and it hurts.
Ooh. I have a quick story actually about a jellyfish.
Harmless to humans, and it just hurts for a while. Oh, perfect.
Yeah, I went.
Go ahead.
I was in Hawaii, and we're fishing. The person next to me caught a hammerhead shark, and I'm like, "Oh, that's cool. I wonder what I'm about to catch." Reel in my fishing rod, and I look. I'm like, "Oh, I caught a what is that? A plastic bag?" I go to reach for it, and everyone on that dock started freaking out. I'm like, "What? What? I want to get this off my line." Turns out I had caught a I think it was a Japanese man-o-war. It's a little small blue jellyfish, but it's also one of the most lethal ones.
Yeah.
You know which one I'm talking about,
Yes.
huh?
Oh my gosh. I do. I do. I'm so glad you didn't. I'm so glad they stopped you.
Oh, I know. They stopped me and they cut my line and just started stepping. I'm like, oh my goodness.
Wow. Good story.
Yeah,
That's a good jellyfish story. I have nothing that dramatic. I've just been stung by jellyfish many, 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 many times as a kid. All right. Let's see here.
Is it because you live by the beach?
I did live by, yes, and I was at the beach a lot. Yeah. So stung by jellyfish a lot. Just kind of got used to it.
You get stung by it so many times. Would you get used to it?
No, I never got used to it because every single time it really, really hurt. And sometimes I cried, but you know.
Did it sting a long time?
It does. It does. And you just have to wait until it stops hurting. So you sit on the beach in your towel and wait till it stops. And then you go play again. But that's Southern California jellyfish. So they, you know, they're not dangerous. It just hurts. All right. Ooh. So let's learn about eels. And these guys are super cool. And there are over 400 species of eel. They live in both saltwater and freshwater. Now, even though the eel looks like a snake, it's really a fish. They have long, narrow bodies with a long dorsal and anal fins. Most eels have no scales. The eel's backbone is made up over 100 vertebrae, which makes it very flexible. Eels have gills and very sharp teeth. Most eels hide and live in caves and rock crevices. They also burrow in the sand. These behaviors allow them to surprise and attack their prey. Some eels will actually chase their prey. The rocks also provide protection for the eel. Some species of eels travel up to 4,000 miles to breed. That's a long way. This journey can take the eel over 7 months to finish. And while on the journey, the eel doesn't even eat.
I think the eel's head looks like a dragon.
It kind of does, doesn't it? Yeah. All right, let's learn a little bit more about eels. It takes a young eel 3 years to become an adult. Eels begin life as flat, transparent larvae. Eel larvae drift in the surface waters of the sea, feeding on dissolved nutrients. Eel larvae change into glass eels and again into elvers before finally becoming an adult. So that's their life cycle. Most moray eels, like the one we just saw, average 5 feet in length. The largest species, the slender giant moray eel, can grow to 13 feet in length. Eel is a delicacy in many cultures. The eel must be cooked thoroughly because its blood is toxic. The electric eel is a South American freshwater fish found mainly in the Amazon River basin. The electric charge is produced by special organs along the sides of the eel's body. We're going to look at how that works. The electric discharge from an electric eel can be stronger than 500 volts. The eel uses the electric charge against its predators and to catch its prey. Lucas, that might help answer part of your question. All right, so let's see how do fish make electricity. Wow, that was really interesting. Did that answer some of your questions? That might have. All right, it is project time.